Hey there, fire signs, or those with a dominant fire element in your chart. Welcome. Let's see what the universe wants you to know this time. Playfulness. Fire spirit. For fire signs, love it. That's the energy of energy. And then purification in the future. Alright, let's add on to this. Three swords, some sorrow or some balance needing to go into place. Queen of Wands, which is definitely your sign. And Knight of Swords. Okay, it's showing a bit of a journey here to finding your confidence and then allowing new action to come in. And we've got the Justice card. It's a very balanced energy. A bit of worry on maybe a financial material level. And then rising above with some clarity. Those cards are very similar actually. And then strength, learning to master yourself, death, shifting, transformation, and then the Eight of Swords showing maybe a little bit too much choice or brain fog maybe coming in, or overcomplicating things. Alright, so a mixture of things here, but there's some very powerful major arcana cards here. And then we've got the two queens as well, showing a balance needing to be struck maybe between your creative instincts and your intellect. And then at the heart of the reading here, there's a bit of work to be done just around reaffirming your sense of safety and not getting into a victim or lackluster mindset. But yeah, we'll open this up more. This playfulness card here in your past column shows that there has been a bit of maybe desire for more play and spontaneity, and that hasn't been fully actualized yet, because there is a bit of sorrow or letdown or just kind of bit of discord or disharmony around that. And I'm feeling that this is still maybe something that you are desiring and haven't quite brought it about at the moment. And play tends to be with other people, so maybe there is some work to be done around communicating that across to whoever you want to have a little bit more magic and spontaneity with, because it's such an important ingredient, and particularly for fire signs, to keep that spark going and that sense of abundance. And the sense of abundance right now is a really important aspect I'm picking up here we'll just jump ahead, with the Five of Pentacles here in the heart of the reading. So playfulness is kind of the antidote to this. This is when we're getting too much into that adult serious mindset and looking at the world through maybe a bit more of a materialistic lens, which always tends to lead to a sense that there's more to be done, or there's not enough of something. Because the world of form is always changing, so at the end of the day, nothing ever stays perfect forever. So just coming down through that playfulness channel, the Queen of Wands here, which is a very strong female figure, but regardless of gender, her power comes from her ability to clearly communicate things across to others, and to be okay being a queen or a king and make requests. So I really feel like there's a few different other elements to this card, but for you at the moment, I feel like that needs to be continually practiced upon. I feel like you already have been working with that energy because it's in your past here, but I still feel like it's carrying over to the now. So being bold and assertive and clear communication is going to really help bring in some of that just innocence again and that playfulness again, okay? Coming off that, we've got the Knight here, Knight of Swords. As you can see, this figure is just like headstrong. So it's sort of showing that there is some decisive force that needs to be actioned, and I feel like you have put things in motion already, and this just needs to be continually followed upon in a flexible way. His greatest strength is his flexibility. So he might have some brilliant ideas, but he's open to changing and shifting as the terrain or the timeline changes as well. So keeping that psychological flexibility going is going to make sure you don't get into any situations where you feel like you're hitting your head against a brick wall too much, okay? So in the middle, I've got this fire spirit here. So it's another strong energy here, and the card is called energy. That's the sort of little subtext there. So I feel like in a way, and it's interesting that she's got a similar pose to the Justice card under here in terms of two arms outstretched, kind of weighing. So I feel like at the moment you're really trying to balance your energy and find some kind of dynamic equilibrium or homeostasis with that. It's also a time of maybe wanting more energy, but it just not maybe being there, and needing to find ways to restore that. So maybe going into the yin a bit more, so then you can get that yang back. Because yeah, kind of getting that vibe here that things have changed, the terrain has changed, and you're maybe still expecting the same crackle or spark to be there that was previously. So just allowing yourself to be a bit more of a dynamic, flexible force right now, and still obviously coming back to your deeper needs here with the Queen of Wands in terms of what you need to feel a bit more lightness and playfulness at the moment. Underneath the Justice cards in the middle, we've already touched on this, there is just some worry and some rumination and concern at the moment. So feel those feelings, but you don't need to fixate on them too much or get in too much of a problem solving capacity. I say that because underneath we've got the Queen of Swords, which is showing that there is a need to get back into a more meditative state with your mind, and to pull back from the more problem solving, trying to kind of crack the code energy. I don't think that's helping right now. I feel like with this figure, she's rising above the cloud or the fog, but she's doing that by sitting in a poised state and allowing the clarity to come to her rather than chasing it. Okay, so do what you can to get back into that more equanimous, peaceful state. That could be actually doing some meditation, just 10 minutes or something. Journaling is a really, really great way to kind of churn through what you need to churn through, so then it kind of skims the fat and then you get to that clarified state. Any kind of embodiment, mindful mind-body bridge work, so yoga for example, or Pilates, whatever, anything that's just going to bring you back into a sense of balance. Okay, that'll help a lot at the moment. Purification is on the final column here in the future. So this figure is, I guess in a sense, I'm just going to picking up on the feeling here that there's a forward moving energy. So she's looking forward and she's kind of blurred, so it's showing some movement. So I feel like there's an element of not everything is clear right now, and so there needs to be a bit of time to pass for things to purify and clarify, and for you to move potentially through this doubt and worry and to sort of process that. Part of this purification we're showing with the Strength card here is there's going to be needing to be a sense of being careful of old default patterns that come up in terms of reactivity. So the lion here represents our instinctual nature, which is that kind of animal part of the body, which is very reactive. And as a fire sign, you know, reactivity can be second nature. It is for everyone, but there is that real tendency to just go into that kind of fear, combative energy. So just, you know, in this figure, they've got the woman here who's charmed this lion or pacified it. And she's done that through a gentle, loving awareness and acceptance. So not kind of fighting the lion or slaying it like Hercules, but more of a softer, graceful approach to that. So really letting that, I'm feeling like there's some uncertainty and doubt there. Maybe around relationships as well, or just not having enough connection in your life. And so, you know, really kind of honoring that there is a deep part of you that needs more, but not going into an overdrive in trying to solve that right now. So it's an intricate internal work, and the infinity sign there shows that it's a daily practice. Some days it comes naturally, other days we have to work at it a bit more. So yeah, letting yourself feel your own strength and using love as a tool to bring a bit more balance inside of you, okay, rather than acting out from it. Just to kind of add on to that, there is just this deep transformation that's coming up. And so part of it I feel like is coming back. I feel like this is almost like the main card of the deck, which is really getting clear on what your needs are and not ignoring them anymore. And so by doing that, that inadvertently causes a shift. And sometimes we don't want that shift. Sometimes that shift can feel as if it's going to tear us apart or destroy who we think we are. So you can choose. You don't have to do this deeper transformation, but whether you take it for the bull by the horns or not, it's coming. And so be bold and do the work in terms of identifying what your deeper needs are and communicate them to yourself, to the universe, and to others around you, so that this transformation doesn't need to feel like it's happening to you. It's more about it feeling like it's happening for you. Okay? And coming off that, we've got the 8 of Swords here. As you can see, this figure is bound and there's all these swords kind of imprisoning her. The card is suggesting this is a self-imprisoned state, but I feel like it's usually a little from column A, a little from column B. Our external world is a mirror from our internal world, so it is correct in that sense, but sometimes we actually do just butting up against confinement and restriction in our life. And so the message and the encouragement of this card is to reduce, simplify, and appreciate. So as much as you can, pull back from overcomplicating things and really try and get to the heart of what you're trying to work on. And it's usually something in here, usually an unmet need or longing that hasn't actually been given a voice, yeah? Rather than it being other people's fault or the world's fault or this shithead or that person or that annoying family member. So yeah, really do come back to that simplicity and getting to the heart of it for yourself. I'm going to do some clarifying cards for the middle and the final column here. The past is already integrated into your system in a sense. Okay, so with the Justice card, we've got the 3 of discs here. So finding this dynamic equilibrium is going to take just a bit of work and a bit of balancing out. I feel like you already have put in things in the past that have brought you into that sort of restorative balance. So bring those back, whatever it is that you know works. If something's been time tested by you already, then give it another crack. That could be, yeah, any kind of wellness activity, processing activity, or even just a different frame of mind that you know expands you. So with this 5 of Pentacles in the middle, yeah, so there's been some, so we've got the 5 of Cups here, so 2 5 cards. 5's a very, in a sense, a chaotic, discordant number. It's sort of an intermediary number between 4, which is really stable, and 6, which is harmonious, and the 5's often the moving and shaking kind of number. And this card is a card of that kind of heart space, disappointment, or things not matching up or lining up the way you thought they would. So it's a card of letting what hasn't happened go, and just actually reminding yourself you've still got 2 cups out of the 5 that are there, and to focus on what you've got. So looking at, you know, the old saying, like the glass half full. So not giving way too much to any kind of looping or spinning thoughts where it just creates a sense of bleakness. And I'd also suggest with this card here, the Queen, if she gives in to disappointment, her confidence just drops and her world implodes. So it's about kind of going, hey, there's something inside of me that's telling me that I want more, need more, and honor that part of you, rather than getting into a bit of a down spiral around life just not being good enough right now. You have the power to improve it, but it first comes from connecting with that part of you that knows what it wants, or at least knows that it needs more, and maybe figuring out what that looks like with someone else, doing a bit of brainstorming. So it's about valuing yourself enough to kind of listen and put it out into the world, rather than just holding that disappointment or not enough energy, because that's only going to kind of down spiral. So there's some sort of intricate inner work that's needing to be done or already happening at the moment, and it's important for setting you up for this new level of purification and new strength and new stride that you're stepping into. The Queen of Swords, we've got the 4 of Wands here. So it's showing, this is a beautiful card actually, of like completion and stability and celebration. So yeah, I'm just kind of getting with this Queen that it's about looking at how far you've come already, how many things you've achieved already, all the wins you've made, and you can focus just on this year so far. Like, write a list, you know, that can be such an empowering thing to do, and you'll be so surprised how much you've accomplished. And see that you are over and over rising above the fog and finding new levels of clarity. And so that'll be a really good foundational thing for you to do at the moment, just so you don't get lost in any kind of confusion at the moment. Alright, let's see what the Strength card unveils. 5 of Pentacles again. Bit of worry here. So there is, I think, this uncertainty inside that you need to connect to from a more loving space, rather than it just kind of hijacking you or you suppressing it or denying it. Either of those don't work. Letting it hijack you means that your true self gets kind of put to the back seat, or if you're maybe subconsciously suppressing it or trying to push it away, it's just going to grow louder and louder in the dark, and then it'll eventually probably hijack you. So to break those 2 patterns down, you need to relate to this uncertainty with love. And one way of doing that is to kind of thank it. And I might be using the word uncertainty, which may or may not resonate with you, but it's sort of a sense of doubt, or a sense of being impoverished, or not having enough. So just, you know, listen to it with love as much as you can. Listen to it with a sense of holding it, but you don't need to engage in any kind of strong way with it. You can just remind it sometimes, yeah, I'm listening, I know I need this, I know I need that. I do that all the time with myself. When there's this thing yanking at me, I sort of try and avoid it as much as I can, but it gets louder and louder, and then eventually I'm forced to face it and feel it fully and to accept it, and then it kind of backs off, because it's got a purpose, you know. It's about finding out what that purpose is after you've felt it fully. The Death card, let's see what comes up after that. So we've got the Page of Swords here, which is showing, this card's, as you can see, it's this, hopefully you can see it, there's a kind of figure like rising up quite strongly. So it's a very clear card in terms of using one's voice, or using the throat chakra. So I feel like that coming up with this transformation, you are just going to have to be more bold and assertive in saying what you want and what you need, okay? So almost get back to that childlike, even if you've got to sort of stomp your foot down a little bit, okay? And we'll just see what's coming up at the end here. Beautiful. So we've got the World card here for the 8 of Swords. So this card's showing as a completion. It's been a long haul, and maybe you didn't expect things to turn this way, but it's meant to be, excuse the plane. It's meant to be. It's showing there's some really deep work going on at the moment. This is the last card in the Major Arcana. So clearing this up, clearing this doubt up and this uncertainty and connecting with your deeper needs is going to have a really, really powerful effect in terms of creating a new beginning. So yeah, beautiful work that's being done, fire signs, and you know, you're definitely on the right track. And I think there's just some more development in terms of getting in touch with the different aspects of you, okay, and finding your power and valuing your needs and wants. Alrighty, if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up down underneath. That just helps it get to more people. And I'd love to hear any feedback if this impacted you in a positive way. I'd love to hear feedback in the comments below, and by all means share it to anyone you think could use it at this time. Alrighty, thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you next time.